Hi, good morning, everybody. Sorry I'm a little late. I had this cow that comes to my house every morning, and she was being a little pushy today. She wanted more broccoli, so I gave her a little bit more of what I had left, and now she's gone. Anyways, yeah, happy Tuesday, happy Mangalvar. Thank you everybody for tuning in today. So yeah, it's Tuesday, it's Mangalvar. So I guess before I start, I'll talk a little bit about Mangalvar. And generally, it's seen as an inauspicious day, and it's something to do with the kind of where Mars is positioned, I think. So generally, in India, people don't really travel on Tuesday. They don't get their haircuts. They tend to not do anything new because it's believed that nothing kind of good can come on a Tuesday. But a lot of people, to kind of counteract the inauspiciousness, go to Hanuman temples on Tuesdays, as Hanuman can kind of come and help us conquer and destroy any auspiciousness that may come. So also it's believed, I think, that Hanuman was born on a Tuesday. So rightfully so, he was born on a Tuesday. Generally people don't start new endeavors on Tuesdays, and like I said, or travel. And it's funny because before I actually knew about this, I just thought Tuesdays was Hanuman's birthday. I always purposely traveled on Tuesdays to kind of have Hanuman with me. So yeah, so happy Tuesday. So before we start, I would just like to do a little Chalisa, Hanuman Chalisa, help kind of bring him in here. Don't really know what I'm doing or what I'm going to say, so I'm hoping that we can invoke Hanuman and he'll take care of it all. So if you know the Chalisa, feel free to sing with me. If not, just take a moment and listen, or get cozy, get some chai, something. All right? Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raja Nijamana Mukuru Sudari Varanau Raghuvara Vimala Jasu Chodaya Kupalachari Udiyena Tanu Janike Sumiro Pavana Kumar Palabuddhi Vidya Dev Mohi Harahu Kale Savikara Siya Vare Ramachandra Parajay Sharanam Jaya Hanuman Kyana Gunasagar Jaya Kapi Sati Huloka Ujagar Ramaduta Tulita Baledama Anjani Puta Pavana Sutanama Mahavira Vikrama Bajrangi Kumate Nivara Sumati Ke Sangi Kanchane Varena Viraja Suvesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa Hatta Vasha Odvaja Viraje Kande Mune Jane Usaje Sankara Suvana Kesari Nandan Teja Pratapa Mahajagavandan Vedyavana Guniyati Chatu Rama Kaja Karibeko Atu Prabhu Charita Sunibeko Rasiya Rama Lakana Sita Manapasiya Sukshma Rupa Darisiya Indikava Vikata Rupa Dari Lanka Jarava Bhima Rupa Dari Asura Sanare Ramachandra ke kaja samvare laya sajivana lakana jiyahe Shri Raghuvira hara shiuralai Raghupati kine vahota varai Tuma mama priya varatai samavai Sahasa vandana tumaro yasagave Asakai Shripati Kantalagave Sanekadika Brahmadi Munisa Narada Sarada Sahita Hisa Jamakubera Dikapala Jahante Kavi Kovida Kahisa Ke Kahante Tuma Upakara Sugriva Ikina Rama Milaya Rajapaladina Tumaro Mantra Vibhishana Mana Lankeshwara Vaya Savajagachana Yuga Sahasrayo Jana Paravanu Liyota Himadura Palajanu Prabhu Mudrika Meli Mukamai Jaladilangi Gai Racharajanai Durgamakaja Jagata Kechete Sugramanugraha Tumare Tete Rama Duare Tumarakuvare Potanagya Vinupesare Savasukalahe Tumari Sarena Tumara Shakaka Huko Darena Apana Teja Samaru Ape Tino Loka Hankate Kampe Puta Vishashana Katanahi Ave Mahavira Jabanama Sunave Nase Roga Hare Sabapira Chapatani Rantara Hanumata Vira Sankate Se Anumana Churave Managrama Vachana Dhyana Cholave Sabapare Rama Tapasvi Raja Tinake Kaja Sakala Tumasaja Ora Manorata Joko Ilave Soyamita Jivana Palapave Charo Yuga Parita Patumara He Parase Jagajata Ujiyara Sadhu Santa Ke Tumarakavare Asurani Kandana Rama Dulare Ashta Siddhino Nidike Data Asavaradina Janaki Mata Rama Rasayana Tumare Pasa Sadara ho Raghupati ke dasa tumare bhajan Rama ko pave Janam janama ke dukha visarave Antakala Raghuvara pura jai Jaha janama hare bhakta kahai Ora devata chetan darei Hanumata se sarva sukha karei Sankate kate mite savapira Jo sumire Hanumata Balavira Jai 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 Hanumana Gosai Kripa Karau Guru Deva Kinai Jo Shatvar Patakara Koi Chutai Vandhi Mahasukha Hoi Joya Pare Hanumana Chalisa Hoya se disa ki gorisa tulsi dasa sada harichera ki jainata hridaya mahadera pavanatanaya sankata haranam mangala muratiru ramalakana sita sahita Hidaya basahu surabhupasya vare Ramachandra parache sharanam Ramachandra parache sharanam Ramachandra parache sharanam Ramachandra parache sharanam. Okay, wow, I feel much better now. So, yeah, I just want to talk a little bit before I invite Govindas on here. Kind of why I decided to start this project. I feel that, right now, bhakti, or the path of devotion, is super important. It's always important, but I think especially in the times that we find ourselves in right now. And I feel so blessed that I have so many teachers in my life, so many amazing gurus that have always been amazing and inspiring. But really what they're doing right now during this global lockdown it's just beautiful, and really helping all of us stay focused on our sadhana, and really allowing us to feel sangha, right from our rooms. And so yeah, my idea was just kind of to share these different teachers with you, and if they resonate, you can check out their satsangs, their kirtans, webinars, all sorts of stuff. And so I want to start with Govindas from LA, from Bhakti Yoga Shala, who has been a dear, dear teacher of mine since, I think 2011. I think it was when they first opened. And I've moved around so much in the last 10 years, but he's always been kind of the anchor of my practice. And whether we go a long time without talking or seeing each other, he's part of my everyday life. And now it's amazing because I get to see him every day on his little stay-at-home retreat. But I'll share more later about kind of how I met him and all that. But let me invite him in so I can see his face, because I know he's somewhere out there. How do I do this? Let me see. I'm not very good with, it's not that, technology. So let me see. Yay, I found you.
Hey there.
Hello. Welcome. It's so nice to see you. I feel like
it's great to see you too. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I've had a great morning. It's funny. There's a temple ashram below me, and we've been on lockdown for over a month, and I never hear them do any pujas. And today they were doing Hanuman Chalisa on the loudspeaker. And I'm like, all right, perfect.
And a couple of things I wanted to share. One, before you came in, you were allowing us to hear the sounds of India. And just outside of your room, it was so lovely.
What did you hear? Birds?
Birds, yeah, birds, sounds of nature.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So that was one. Two, the other thing I wanted to say is thank you for chanting the Chalisa, because it sounded wonderful. And it made me so happy to remember you as a shy girl in the corner of yoga class to now look at you, what you're doing and how you're living your life. It's really quite inspirational. So thank you for following your path.
That's so funny you mentioned that, because I always would go for the corner by the bathroom. That was like my spot. And if I got there and somebody was there, I was like, oh man, I got to go in the front.
Yeah.
But thank you. Yeah, I hope I didn't forget a verse. I was like kind of nervous.
No, I don't think you did. I had to run out and get a few things, but I don't think you did.
Awesome. Cool. So,
So you want to talk?
No, I just want to
let's just talk about stuff.
Yeah, so it's funny because I thought about this a few weeks ago, and I put all this pressure on myself, and like, oh, I got to come up with these questions and make it like an interview. And then it kind of felt like I don't want that. I just want to have a conversation. And obviously there's a few points that I want to talk about, but I think, another reason I spoke a little bit earlier about why I wanted to highlight kind of some of these people in my life. And I feel that so many of us look up to our teachers, our gurus, even these great saints, and think like, wow, if I could only be as strong as they are, as dedicated as they are, as realized as they are, and we forget that whether in this lifetime or a previous one, they were just like us, trying to, be on this path. And I think what I want to highlight is the journey, that all these teachers have been on, because we all know it's not just about the destination, but about the journey, and kind of let us know that long as we keep working towards our goal every day, we can also be one day like these people that we look up to. So I guess I kind of just wanted to start with kind of your background in spirituality, and maybe kind of where you came from in terms of your upbringing, and kind of how you first found, whether it was Asana or what, but kind of how you came to this path.
That's a big question. It is, well, how, first of all, I grew up outside of Washington, D.C., in Maryland, in the state of Maryland. And I grew up in a very, not very religious, but culturally identified as a Jewish family. And my birth name is Ira Rosen. And I had a bar mitzvah, when I was 13. But I went to synagogue, and a couple things happened as a child. One, I saw most people in synagogue like this.
Right.
So it didn't have one side of it didn't, what could I say? It didn't excite me, and I actually had a big aversion to it. But one thing that I do remember is that, as most kids probably do in relation to religion, but the one thing that really turned me on, that I really felt a connection to, was the chanting, was the Hebrew chanting. The cantor is like next to the rabbi, and usually typically the cantor's singing these great just old hymns, and just ancient sounding, and I would cry. Typically I would pray and cry when I would hear the music. It would take me into a very emotional state within. And but most of my life I tried to get away from it and get out of it, to be honest with you. And on some level was embarrassed of it. I was embarrassed of being Jewish, and felt shame around that, because I don't know where that stems from. Probably because my people are freaking crazy. That's why.
We love the crazies.
Yeah. But so I didn't have much to do with spirituality as a child bringing up, because I said my parents, we were Jewish, but it was cultural. We didn't practice spirituality together.
Sure.
And so, but my first religious experiences, aside from the music stuff, was ingesting mushrooms when I was maybe 19 in college. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, once. Twice. And probably about 5 years ago was the last time. And yeah.
So anyways, in relation to it, when I ingested mushrooms, I would feel just a sense of oneness and connected to everything, and interrelatedness of all beings. So that was sort of my first spiritual opening. Okay. And then in college, my very first year in college, I took a course on stress reduction. And in that stress reduction class, they had 9 weeks was on meditation. And meditation, I found, I felt such an attraction towards. So these things were happening around the same time. Eating like mushrooms.
Or
what's that?
Like just practicing silent meditation at that time?
Silent meditation, actually repeating mantra.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like a form or an offshoot of TM.
Okay, yeah.
Which is interesting because TM is very... What's that?
That was at college?
Yeah, college.
That's awesome.
First year. and I took it for an easy credit because it was a you know, an elective essentially.
Right. You could just sit there and essentially chill.
But right, exactly. But never did I know the effect that this was going to have on me.
Yeah, wow.
So, but I finished that 9 weeks of that course or whatever, and basically I went back and I forgot about it.
Mm.
And I was just, you know, the subject I studied in college was partying.
Right. Like most people.
That's what I studied, and that's
Did
what
you
I
get
learned.
a picture
But I got good grades, so, you know.
in party?
Anyway, in partying. But so then I moved to California, and I went into a state of depression. I moved from Maryland, where I went to school, and I followed some friends and moved out to the West Coast, to California, 1993. And it was my first time really away from home, the other side of the world, the other side of the country from home, my family, who, you know, even though I didn't grow up in the spiritual environment, there was so much love, you know, I mean, I felt supported. And suddenly I was away from them and away from all my friends. And I actually sank into a very big depression.
Sure.
And I suddenly couldn't feel joy anymore. I couldn't feel happiness. I don't know if you've ever gone through depression, but like something in your mind like becomes a net that you feel trapped inside of, and you just can't escape to the other side where joy is.
Yeah, and even when you know how to get there, you just can't.
Right.
You don't have the drive to get yourself there for whatever reason. You don't have the will.
So in my trying to get out of it, somehow with some good grace, I was led to a place called Psychic Eye Spiritual Bookstore right down the street from my house in La Jolla, where I lived in San Diego. And in that bookstore, I started to find some books on meditation. I was just attracted to them. Jon Kabat-Zinn, Wherever You Go, There You Are. Let's see, the Warrior. What was that?
The Warrior? I'm not familiar.
Oh gosh, come on, Dan. Okay, some of y'all out there got to know this. What? The Way of the Peaceful Warrior.
Oh, okay. I've not read that one.
Oh, it's wonderful. And some other spiritual books. And so what happened is that it helped me remember what I did my freshman year in college when I was practicing meditation. And so I started meditating again.
And how old are you at this point?
I was 22.
22, okay.
And so I started meditating. Dan Millman, Mystical Power, Connie Corley says. Great book. You got to read this book. It's a classic.
For sure. The Way of the Warrior, the Peaceful Way of the Warrior.
Way of the Peaceful Warrior.
Way of the Warrior. Okay.
And essentially, I started meditating again, and I started feeling lighter. I started to feel my heart just kind of unlock. Shiva's Secret just said, Shiva Bomb, what's up, my brother?
Hi, Shiva, thank you for tuning in. Love you, bro.
So it worked. You know, I started to feel better when I started meditating. So I basically latched on to it. And since that time, it's still Doug Evans. What's up, buddy? Since that time, basically, I haven't let go of it since I was 22 in one shape or another, some type of daily spiritual practice.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've had many, many times swerving off of the path and not meditating for weeks or months or doing anything. But always, I don't know, I guess maybe call it honoring Dharma.
That's all we can really do.
But, you know, I mean, you were saying, like, at the beginning, you look up to your teachers. That's why you wanted to have us on and this. But I tell you, this coronavirus time especially, it has even with sadhana, there has been some of the most challenging moments in my life where I just feel like a pathetic fool, completely stumbling, like a child that can't even walk on this path. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Like brought to my knees of seeing just my own ego and my own tendencies. And
yeah.
But I think as well too, being in this situation, being like, living with my family, what does Ram Dass say? If you think you're enlightened, go hang out with your family.
Yeah. It's funny because I keep extending my visa here, and I'm so grateful to be alone in my little, what I'm now calling my little kutir, where I just do all my sadhana and my bhajans. But I'm getting worried that if they don't extend my visa, I have to go home and live with my family. And it sounds very difficult, obviously beneficial if I had to. But yeah, and I just love when you keep bringing up that quote, because it's so true, So many people are, with their family, their partners, and trying to stay grounded at the same time amongst all this fear and everything else that's floating around. But what I always love is you're so honest about everything. You've never sat there and tried to be anything that you're not, or be inauthentic or anything. And oftentimes on your Instagram feeds, you tell us, I'm losing my voice. I was yelling at my kids all weekend. What am I thinking? I probably shouldn't be yelling, and yeah, there's a beauty in the quarantine, but there's also the definite struggle for sure.
Yeah, what and I've heard this saying from so many spiritual teachers, and mainly Jack Kornfield, but that life is a dance between light and shadow. And honoring that. And as Ram Dass would always, share in his teachings, that you can't push one away and grab onto the other. You got to just, work through it all and breathe through it all. And that's how we learn the lessons that we need to learn in our own evolutionary process. And as Maharaji told Ram Dass, it's all perfect.
Right. It's all perfect. It's all prasad, the good and the bad, for sure. It's all our perception, right? We have to change. What is it? When you change the way you look
at things, the things you look at begin to change. Yeah. That's my favorite.
And it's so true. I mean, it really is. And I feel really grateful that I'm able to look at this time the way I am, and using it as a way to share. And because I think there are a lot of people struggling with it, and again, back to sharing you and my other teachers, it's like, if there are people out there that are kind of having a hard time, or looking for people to resonate with, kind of hoping that if they come across, if not you, somebody else that's on here and joins into their webinars or their kirtans or whatever, that we can just kind of grow this feeling of Sangha, even though we're all kind of alone, but we're still together. And like I said to you, I feel like, not just with you, but with my other teachers, I feel closer to you guys now than before.
Very interesting.
And not just because I see you every day on a screen, but those little times affect the rest of my day, and kind of the mood that I have for the rest of the day. And I feel like everyone's always with me,
Yes.
Yeah. So where were we? I forgot. The way the warrior.
I hear you. It's so nice to see so many people coming on the screen.
I haven't even looked. I'm just like pretending nobody's here because I'll get nervous.
Some old friends.
Yeah, who is here? Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Oh wait, that's I didn't mean to do that. How do I? I'm back.
That's India. You just gave me a little glimpse out the window. I saw India live for a moment.
The Himalayas.
Bharatama. There's the Himalayas, everybody. That is darshan.
Upped over.
That's
windows.
darshan right there.
Yes.
So where do you live in Rishikesh?
I live in Tapovan, in Lower
Yeah.
Tapovan.
Is that near
And
Yogerishi's place?
Yogrishi.
Akanda, you know
Oh,
Akanda.
Anand Prakash. Yeah, I'm
Yep,
just like from Anand Prakash.
nice.
And I've loved this space. I just moved in here. I was in a different space for a year, which was very, very dark. I was on the ground floor. I had no windows. I didn't have cell phone service.
Mm.
And I used to say that a lot of when I would go through these kind of depressing times, I'd blame my room. I'd be like, it's this room, it's dark, I have no sunlight. And I kept trying to move. And then I wouldn't move. And I'd say, no, Mira, like, if you can't be happy in this dark room, like, you can't be happy anywhere. It's not the room, it's inside you, blah, blah, blah. So I stuck there for a year. And I just moved here in February, and it's like the most beautiful, bright room. My windows face east. I have a mountain view, and looking back, I'm like, wow, I do feel like I did like a year of tapasya in this like cave of a room, and thank God I've come out of it, and it's so joyful. You know, going back to your, you know, this online retreat that you're calling it that you do. I feel so lucky that with the time difference, you literally are the anchor of my day. Start my day and end my day. When you do your kirtan with Radha, for me, it's 5:30 when I wake up.
Yeah, I think about that. I was thinking about that.
I wake up, I don't even get out of bed. I grab my phone, I turn you on, and I sing along, and I watch the sunrise over the foothills. And
What
when
a
you're
life.
I get up, I do my puja, I do all that. And when you're sleeping is when I do all my stuff. And then I do my evening puja around 7. I start making dinner, and about 9 o'clock, you come in with what is your morning chalisas and Ram Japa, and I do that with you, and then I go to bed. And then I wake up all over again, and it's like, I just love that the timings have just been so beautiful for me to really open and seal my day with. It's been very, very inspiring.
I think, you know, the one thing that not the one thing, there's been many things, but the beauty of this time that we find ourselves in, for me, is that we've gone deeper into the chanting. And the chanting is one thing that we have that's transcendental, that's not of the world, where we can just take refuge and find true peace. So when I sit down just right back here, and it's like, I don't know, everything just mellows out in that situation. Because it's gotten wild. I mean, our family, like, the kids are going off the walls, that they can't see their friends, and they can't and they like, you know, yeah, they're out front riding bikes and stuff, but they don't have social interaction. That's been the most challenging thing. And without that, their energy has gotten pretty spastic at times.
Yeah.
So I tell them, I said, stop acting like a spaz, you know, and you're spazzing out. But it's, yeah, so to have this practice in my life where I can go to and just take a little mini bath in Krishna's prasad or Hanuman's prasad, you know, it's like, it's really, really, really feeding me and nourishing me. And a few people have said, you should take a day off. And I said, I just don't want to. You know? But that's kind of like what I said since, you know, when I was 22 years old. That's how crazy my mind is. I need it that bad.
I need a fix every day.
I need it that bad.
Oh man. So I forgot where we were.
Yeah, we were talking about chanting and bhakti and.
Yeah, so I guess in particular, like, so from your meditation, I'm assuming you probably started maybe some asanas at some point, but what I kind of want to get to is is where the transition happened between kind of this physical practice that you were doing to then coming into bhakti, you know, because I think that,
well, here,
you know,
let me tell you that I can say something real quick. I came in through meditation.
okay.
I didn't come in through asana. So asana always sort of played it's a part of it, but it's not the thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because meditation, you just go right there. It's like, you know what I mean by that? That doesn't make sense. So I came in through meditation. I had a meditation practice well before I had an asana practice. And so the asana practice never just had that much weight. And as all of the systems of yoga share, it's a piece of the puzzle where, you know, bhakti is the pinnacle or the peak. You know, some people would say meditation is the pinnacle, the peak, maybe the yanis, you know, and asana is recognized in the whole tradition to have a much smaller part of it. And so I never invested that much in asana as the path, shall I say. I was at an Ayurvedic doctor in maybe 1995 or so. And he was playing kirtan. He was diagnosing me, and there was kirtan in the background. And it was very Indian sounding kirtan. But I heard it, and it brought me back to those experiences in synagogue when I would cry because I heard these ancient sounds. I felt that same ancientness in it. And I heard it, and I was like overtaken by it. And so I asked the Ayurvedic doctor, he said, this is kirtan, this is kirtan. So then around the same time I was practicing asana, and then a couple years later, I was looking for teacher trainings. And I remembered this kirtan, but it wasn't so readily accessible like it is now. And so I was looking at these teacher trainings, and this teacher in Florida had kirtan as a part of his teacher as a part of his teacher training. His name's Yogi Hari, and he comes from the Shivananda lineage. So I went and I took that teacher training because I love the kirtan, and it was near my parents' house in Florida as well too. And then very soon after that, the Krishna Das album came out. Well, let's backstep a little bit. Then somebody gave me a Ram Dass tape.
Oh, right.
As I was about to drive from Florida to New York. I was with my parents. I had just taken this teacher training. I was teaching a little bit, and I was going to see a friend up in New York named Brendan Davison. And right before I left, a friend gave me a Ram Dass tape and said, you need to listen to this. And so I put it in on the way from Florida up to Maryland. I'm sorry, Florida up to New York. And I listened to it the whole time. I must have listened to it 10 times in that tape. I was consumed by it because everything Ram Dass was saying was truth for me. And the way he said it. And that he was Jewish, and he had this New York accent and this humor and New England accent. And now I come to hear that it was Maharaji. That's what I was attracted to. So soon after that, I got to New York. Right when I got to New York, I was taking a yoga class at Jiva Mukti, and there was kirtan happening. But it wasn't like the kirtan I had heard. It was this other voice, and it had this other sound to it. And it was Krishna Das. And I went right up to the teacher. I said, what is this music? This is the most amazing thing I've ever heard. He said, oh, this is Krishna Das. He does these Monday night kirtan here every Monday night. And his first album had just come out.
Wow.
And that was it. In like a 3-day span, I had been given a Ram Dass tape, and I had heard Krishna Das for the first time.
Wow.
And in both of them, they referred to Maharaji. As I'm looking at you, I see this picture of Maharaji right over your shoulder. He's just smiling at all of us. That's beautiful. Yeah. And then very soon I came back, and I came back to California, and Krishna Das was doing his first book signing, or I'm sorry, CD signing at a bookstore on the 3rd Street Promenade. And I walked in there not knowing anybody, and the first person I met was Shiva Baum, Shiva Secret, who was just listening. I don't know if he's still with us anymore.
There he is. Yeah.
Yeah, brother. And that was my first bhakti friend. And then Krishna Das started coming in town, and Jayu Talk would come in town, and Bhagavan Das would come in town, and I was reading all of the all of Ram Dass's books, and just getting as much as I could of it. And Shiva started inviting me to, like private kirtans, and as a part of like the Neem Karoli Baba satsang that had been going for a long time. And I just felt like home. I felt like it was home. And then soon after that, I had a dream, and I was in Maharaji's dream. I was in a dream. Maharaji came and visited me in a dream. I was sitting at his feet, and he was laughing and laughing and laughing. And I was crying and crying and crying. And he was laughing and laughing and slapping me on the head. And I was crying and crying. And I came out of the dream, and it was like more real than any moment I had ever had in my life.
Wow.
And my life changed, and I went and I had met Raghu before. And Raghu, I don't know if you know Raghu Marcus, he runs Ram Dass's Be Here Now network. And I told him about the dream, and he said, you should put a picture of Maharaji up in your room, or in your in where you meditate, because this is a powerful dream. This is the way he gives darshan now. He's not in a body anymore, so it commonly comes in people's dreams, and visits people in meditation, and so on and so forth. And he said, you might want to just put a picture of him up. And I did, and now I have him all over my house too, like you have him there.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's just protecting me, and guiding me, and laughing at me, and
definitely laughing at
screwing with me at times. Like a good monkey should.
Yeah.
And but I just, like you, I imagine you just have a friendship with him, and realize, I don't know, he's so big, and I feel like this tremendous grace that somehow I came to this life and am wrapped in his blanket. And it wasn't in the plan. Ira Rosen it wasn't in Ira Rosen's plan to worship a guru and a monkey. That's not where I came from. I had no idea of this. My parents weren't hippies. They didn't do yoga. Sure. They didn't eat any organic food, none of it. So I had no idea. But when your heart is attracted to something, and gosh, what can we say?
Yeah.
What can we say? You turn a new way, a new direction, because something feels so right, and that's where I keep going with my faith, and with my prayers, and I still love Judaism, and I go, and now I love Christ, because Maharaji says Christ and Hanuman are the same. I never grew up with Christ. Now I love Christ, and it's Christ, and we can, but ultimately it's finding our way back to our heart, right? That's what Maharaji gives to us. Is that his tradition is very unique, because it's called like a formless tradition, because there's no rules to it.
These sampradayas also, it's very loose, very free, very open, very accepting, and
and it's a lot of hippies, and it's a lot of he through Maharaji to Ram Dass gave us a lineage. I mean, Ram Dass created a lineage for us Westerners to follow Maharaji, and yeah, we really just have to keep pointing our love and our gratitude to Ram Dass, and he's with us. He's watching over us, and he's his cosmic being is so here with us, and um, we just gotta follow what he laid out and what Krishna Das has laid out for us, and Bhagavan Das is laid out for us, and Raghu's laid out for us, and so many of the others. Jai has laid out for us, and of course other traditions as well too. I mean, I learned so much from dear friends that because our tradition isn't this really formal sampradaya, I see friends that are in other traditions and their bhakti, and I'm learning a tremendous amount from them. As we've talked a lot, we have a lot of good friends that are Krishna bhaktas, and I mean, and to watch their bhakti, it inspires me tremendously, and I carry a part of it in my heart. I do.
I was thinking about this the other day. I thought, because I'm always surrounded by ISKCON devotees, always, and I know you are, and many also others in our satsang are, and I thought, what is this connection, between Neem Karoli Baba devotees and ISKCON, because there are some things belief-wise that are a bit different, but I think at the end of the day, it's they're such a great example of pure bhakti, and it just draws you in, and some of my most inspiring friends and teachers are Krishna bhaktas, and we don't get caught up on who's who, Hanuman, Ram, Krishna, Shiva, whatever, but just seeing their pure devotion and the level at which that they serve, it's just, it's an inspiration for anybody really of any path, to see kind of.
I know. But we look at our friends, both of our friends, Vrindavan Kirtan Das and Madhava. I mean, like, these guys are such inspirations for me. I just follow, that's what we're taught to do. Follow, just be followers in bhakti, it's not about being the leader or the master. Be the follower of the follower. And who sets that example for us best is Hanuman. It is Hanuman.
You said something so beautiful. You say it often, but it's be the servant of the servant. Don't try to be God. Don't try to be Ram. And it's so true. It is so true, because we can never be, and I just love that quote. It comes to me all the time. And also you've been saying quite a bit, in this time where everybody's trying to be the master of something, a master Kundalini yoga teacher, a master, whatever. And, instead of trying to be the master, be the servant of the servant. And it's such a good reminder, to keep us humble on this path, which I think is really, really important. But it's interesting. I feel a lot of similarities with your story in the sense, like, I grew up in a Mexican household where we were Catholic, but traditionally Catholic. We didn't really go to church much and practice a lot of stuff. I got baptized, did my first communion and all that kind of stuff. I'd go to church because I had to get my first communion done. I had to go to church when I was in catechism, and I would fall asleep. I didn't like it. And then, but same like you, I would wake up when the music came on, and I would feel, I wouldn't say moved per se, I was only 8 years old, but it was the one part that I was interested in. And as I grew older, I got really into architecture when I was a teenager, and I'd go to New York and visit these amazing cathedrals, and I'd walk in and I'd just immediately start bawling, which at the time made no sense because I was just like this crazy punk rock kid that didn't believe in anything, had no feeling, was hard as shit, and I was like, whoa, I'm walking to church and crying? Like, that's weird. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that. And I don't know, as time went on, it's actually quite interesting. When I first came to your studio, I think it was in 2011. I think that's when you guys first opened.
2009.
2009. Okay, so a couple years later. I just moved back from San Francisco, and I wasn't spiritual. I knew nothing about anything. I didn't even know anything really about asana or meditation. And I was really just like, I need to work out. And gym memberships are too expensive. And I don't know, I'm still kind of lazy. And I'd heard about this studio that was by my house on the promenade that was on donation basis. And I thought, well, I'll go stretch a little bit and donate money, and I don't have to commit to this month membership or blah, blah, blah. And I went with a friend who was also interested kind of for the same reasons. And we went. I remember at the time you had us do what I thought was like weird stuff. You know, we had to like hug our neighbor and stuff. Before we started, you were like, hug your neighbor. And we're like, oh, you know, this punk rock kid, like, what? I want to hug this person? It's weird. And then you had us like look into each other's eyes and do some like partner practice kind of stuff. And my friend was totally like, this is weird. And I'm like, yeah, it's weird, but like, I don't know, let's just try it. We're here. We're not gonna like walk out in the middle, you know? Luckily I knew my partner, so it wasn't that weird. And at the end, I remember you saying the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And I had my arms in the air like everybody else. And I didn't know what we were saying. I didn't know anything, but I felt it. And I just started bawling. And it hadn't happened to me since I'd walked into a church. And I thought, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm tough. I don't have feelings. Like, I don't cry. What is this, you know? And we left, and my friend was like, that was weird. I'm never going back there again. And I was like, yeah, that was so weird. I'm not going back there either. But I was secretly going back and not telling my friends because I was curious. I was like, what is going on in there, dude? And I remember I was there. I went for maybe 3 weeks, and then I started to freak out. My mind came in and was like, did I just join a cult? Like, why are my arms always in the air? What am I saying? What language is this? Who the hell is Krishna? Like, I don't know. So I stayed away. I didn't go back for a month because I did a ton of research. I was like, Krishna, mantra, yoga. Like, I knew nothing about any of this stuff. Eastern philosophy, nothing. And after a month, I realized you were cool. You weren't running a cult. And I went back because I was like, oh, it's all love. Like, it's all love. And it's all the same message, you know? And I went back, and I mean, the rest is history. But yeah, it's such a special place for me because, you know, I feel like you really, for me personally, you've planted every seed in my life. Because the way you approach and I say this so many times, talk about you all the time, 24/7. I'm like, my teacher says this, my teacher says that. And you're so much more than an asana teacher. You run a yoga studio, sure, but that is not who you are, and that is not what I got from you. You know, what I really got out of that, of practicing with you, which I haven't in a long time, was your fusion of all the yogas, you know, and having bhakti be the backbone of, let's say, like a hatha practice, and just the little nuggets of wisdom that you shared during our practice and the asana. And, you know, you would always share quotes. I remember you would share quotes from like Radhanath Swami, and I would make a mental note. Who's Radhanath Swami? Let me look him up. Let me buy his book. Or you'd mention Ram Dass or this or that. And everything that you've said really is what planted the seeds for me to want to go and find out more of these people. And I just remember I remember seeing Baba all around the studio and all that. And I remember when it hit me that it's been Baba this whole time. It hit me like a ton of bricks, you know, maybe like 5 years ago. At first I thought it was you. I was like, oh, you know, it's all G. He's amazing. He's the guru. And then I got to Ram Dass, and I was like, oh, you know, Ram Dass, he's amazing. And G's kind of like a student of Ram Dass. So it's like Ram Dass coming through G. And then the deeper I got with Ram Dass, it was like Ram Dass was just a reflection of Maharaji. It was like, holy shit, this guy's been like in my life for 10 years. And it took me 5 years to realize that it was him the whole time. It wasn't Govind Das, and it wasn't Ram Das, and it was Baba just fucking trying to find me through you guys, you know. And that's why I say, you know, you're so special to me, and you're just one of the greatest gifts that Maharaji has given me, because through you, I mean, through Maharaji working through you, I feel like my life is so different than where I was before I found you, or before Baba found me, or however you want to look at it. But yeah.
Well, I think, what time did you start? Because we only have an hour.
Yeah, I think I have like 2 minutes left.
Is that what it shows you?
I don't know. I don't know how this thing works. I don't know.
Okay, it'll show you, I think, when you have 2 minutes.
How long does it say?
What's that?
How long does yours say we have?
I think like 2 minutes. It'll show you a little countdown how long it. But yeah, I think we got to do it again. So who do you have on next? Do you have someone for next week?
So I'm waiting to get next week's confirmed, but a very special teacher here in Rishikesh. Following weeks, I'll have Indra Yamunaswamy from ISKCON. I've asked Madhava also to come do a little kirtan session. And a Guru Bhai of mine, Nick Collins, who writes beautiful, beautiful music.
He was tuned in. He was listening.
Yeah, he's my Shiva Bum. So he's
such a sweetheart. I love that man. Love his kirtan too.
Yeah, and I want him, you'll see, but he writes music and uses the mantras as his chorus. So it's like English and kind of East meets West, and it's just so beautiful. And
what's his spiritual name again?
Nityanand.
Nityanand.
Yeah. I forget. I met him that way, so I hardly ever call him Nick, but I don't know what he wants me to call him. I'll find out.
Well, and last thing I got to say, I miss Baba.
Yes.
I just really miss him, and I'm thinking about him. Nityanand, I'm just saying how much I miss Baba. And we'll see him someday. I trust that.
Yeah, and I think
I heard he's taking 4 years off. He said he's going to take 4 years off from seeing any Westerners.
Yeah. So I think in that time we should keep him in our mind and in our prayers and in our thoughts and see what happens, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, so thank you so much for coming on here, and maybe I'll have you on again. We can talk about Hanuman, because I kind of wanted to go from Maharaji to then Hanuman and more servant. But my God, I could sit here for hours and just talk about this stuff. So yeah, we'll have to do another one if you have time. I know you're so busy with all your events and stuff.
So one last thing. I don't know if you heard, we're about to start our 40-day Hanuman Chalisa study. So
yeah, online Chalisa study, and you have a kirtan training coming up, which do about and kind of get more details. But
it'd be tough for your timing because you're there.
Yeah, I definitely don't know if I can wake up at 3:30 in the morning.
I want to just say thanks, Connie Corley. She's the one that planted the seed for this Hanuman Chalisa challenge.
Nice. Thank you.
40 days. She's right there. Mystical Power. Yogi Nikhil. Cal's here. Gosh, this has been really fun.
Yes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Like I said, I know you're doing all your stuff, and then you're also involved in all these other events and virtual stuff. So really thank you for taking the time.